Troubled kid? I was one. Second chances? I got one. Dropped out of college, made a YouTube, and started roasting people. And now, I'm a judge. In my courtroom, the disputes are fake, and the cases ain't about nothing. And if you got feelings, I don't care. I'm Judge BX Beast Boy, and this is my show. Let's go. What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about the beef between Chris Brown and Quavo. Yeah, this got pretty nasty, but a lot of people have been requested and I talk about it, so let's look into it. Chris Brown and Quavo were initially on good terms, with Quavo even being a fan of Chris Brown back in 2012. Their friendship grew as Quavo and Migos gained fame, collaborating with Chris Brown on tracks like Moses and Just for Tonight. Quavo's relationship with Chris Brown's ex, Karishi, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, sparked tension between the two. Chris Brown became increasingly protective and possessive over Karishi, leading to conflicts with anyone associated with her. That goes from not just Quavo, but also people like Soulja Boy and whoever would even go around her or near her. A fight broke out, or I should say a scuffle, broke out between Chris Brown and Migos. It happened at the BET Hip Hop Awards after party, and I think behind the scenes and backstage as well. Text messages surfaced with Chris Brown challenged Migos, including Quavo, to a fight. I ain't gonna sleep on Chris Brown's skills when it comes to fighting. He's extremely athletic. I've seen him do backflips and land on one hand. I'm pretty sure he could throw a punch. I'm just saying. Quavo was spotted with Karishi, leading to her obtaining a restraining order against Chris Brown. Now here comes the good part, the part that I actually like to consider my favorite, the diss songs. The first diss was from Chris Brown. It was on his song called Freak. Chris Brown points out Quavo's alleged relationship with his ex Karishi, with lines like, "Okay now, effing my old B words ain't gonna make us equal." Yeah, he was wilding out. He just went straight to it with that one, huh? Chris then calls out the group Migos as a whole, with lines like, "Freak B, she like Casamigos, not the Migos." Chris alludes to getting nasty with Saweetie and a friend with lines like, "She said, we should bring a friend, and I think about it twice." Remember, Saweetie got a song with Doja Cat called Best Friend? Yeah, kinda gotta read between the lines with that one. Chris also referenced helping her with getting a Birkin bag and not depending on a man to get her one, with lines like, "She just won a couple Birkins and some CC belts. I'm just trying to set her up so she don't need no help." Referencing Saweetie's Birkin bag clip. Chris also alluded to Saweetie cheating on Quavo. Quavo himself also admitted to this as well in previous songs. Quavo responded with his song called Tender. Quavo referenced Karishi being done wrong with lines like, "You did the be wrong and now the be gone." She posted with a thug. Oh, okay. I never really could see the intrigue in Migos. Wasn't for me. Anyway, I digress. They got like one song and it was like Drake being on it that made it pretty dope. He also insinuated that Chris Brown was controlling and obsessed with the lines like, "Call the B phone, she won't come home, don't beat her." Yo, this dude was wild. "Don't beat her up. Don't beat her." Oh my gosh. Yeah, he was nasty with that. So sick of the Chris Brown beat him up thing. It's just every time he's ever in a beef with somebody, they're gonna bring up the Rihanna thing. It's just always gonna happen. No one's gonna mention the fact that Rihanna attacked him first repeatedly over and over and over again while he was driving too. No one ever wants to bring that up, but anyway, I digress. Quavo states that he believes it has to be the drugs, with the lines, "It must be the drugs," with ad-libs too going, "Must be the drugs," right behind it. "Need to cross out your plug." Yeah, that's crazy. So we gonna act like you don't do no drugs? We gonna pretend that I've heard your music, Quavo? I'm just joking. You're gonna say I'm being biased. Quavo says when he smashed, yo, fan, that's crazy. Talking about Karishi, when he smashed her, her life got better. But when Chris smashed, her life got worse. He's wildin'. He used the lines to say this, "When I F on that little bitty blank B word, yeah, she do great. When you F on that little bitty hoe, yeah, she lose weight." This is He was dating this girl for a little while. I blame Korichi. You gotta pick better. That's crazy. You gonna say Chris Brown toxic and go to someone who's gonna reference you like this? Clearly, they have some toxicity in their heart. But anyway, I digress. Quavo states that Chris was just mad over a thought with the lines, wiping your nose with a tissue, not wiping no snot. Tell me, little bro, what's your issue? It's over a thought? Yo, that's crazy. I'm not trying to play, white knight, but that's pretty wild. That was a little bit uncalled for, if I gotta be honest. Chris Brown comes back with the song Weakest Link, where the song starts off with Quavo saying how he don't want no smoke, like the actual audio of him saying it. I don't know how that was obtained. I don't know if it's AI. That's wild. Chris Brown lets his gang affiliations be known right out the gate. He's talking about how he was dripped in red and none of just immediately. He's not playing no games, bro. Right? And I think this has been well known for a long time, even before the whole Soulja Boy beef, right? Before he was beefing with Soulja Boy, Chris Brown has always let it be clearly known his affiliations with the lines, let's get down to the facts, blank, P word, I'm dripped in red. Chris Brown also calls out Quavo for a fight with the lines, Quavo talking like he a thug, you a big dreads, can't wait to see the day that you back up all that ish you said. That's clear as day what he's insinuating and what he plans on doing. Chris points out that Quavo calls himself Honcho, and he even questions that. Says that he's the weakest link in Migos, with the lines like, what's all that boss-ish you talking? You ain't no Honcho N-word. I'm trying to censor it a little bit. I know I'm occasionally slipping up and saying it, but I'm trying to make sure I don't curse too much. You the weakest link, out your click, let's keep it a hundo. N-word. Chris states Quavo smashed his girl, but he smashed Saweetie, Quavo's former girlfriend, while he was still with her. And he claims this with the lines, you blanks smashed, let's use that word instead, my ex-ho, that's cool, I don't give no F, little cause I blanked smashed your ex when you were still with her. And if you thought that there was any doubt to who Chris was talking about, he made that clear that he was talking about Saweetie with the lines, they say revenge is sweet. Now think about that ish. Don't let that line go over your head. I might just sing about that ish. Nasty. But it gets crazier. These dudes, when it comes to chicks dealing with them, let it be known if you break up, they about to dog you every chance they can through tracks, songs. He might even sing about that. He's out of pocket. But damn it, it's a good diss song though. I have to say that. It's crazy, but it sounds fire. Chris also said that he had Saweetie going crazy and learned some secrets with the lines, I had her fiending about that blank. There's something sweet about that blank. I got some tea about that chick, but I ain't gonna speak about that ish. You might as well speak about it, Chris. You might as well. I don't know why you keep a secret. Put it out. Why not? You already spilled the beans. So you might as well go all out. Now, Chris pointed out Quavo's hypocrisy, saying that he attacks women when Quavo himself went viral for getting it on and scrapping with Saweetie in an elevator. Chris called him out with lines like, stop talking about beating girls. You was beating blanks on the elevator. We seen the tapes. They're devastating. Yeah, we did see an interaction for sure. I just showed you guys the clip of that. Chris states how he sat next to Quavo during Fashion Week with lines like, Fashion Week, they sat me next to your lame ass. I was truly mad. I kept thinking about breaking your face, but I gave you a pass. You were lucky I didn't want to F the money up. Boy, I would have broke you in half. I don't want to sound like I'm biased, but I truly believe Chris Brown could have done that. He could have done that. And I do believe it. If you see the picture with them next to each other, it look crazy. Chris addressed being called a drug addict and says he only smokes that Quavo pack. And he used Quavo's albums to roll some of that stuff up on. Now, he said this with the lines, quit talking about drugs. You the only pack I've been smoking on. I just hit my plug, told him, come back, I'm gonna need more than one, which meaning that he's gonna keep coming back and catching wreck on Quavo. Chris Brown also stated that when Takeoff died, everyone wished it was Quavo. Instead, that's mad nasty. If you don't know about Takeoff, he was the member of the Migos that passed away recently. So yeah, that was dirty. I think he was also related to them as well. It was like a family affair. They all was related. Chris Brown, after he went off with that. With the lines, RIP Takeoff, you're the only real one that got true respect. Crazy how when he died, everybody really wished it was you instead. That's nasty. That's pretty nasty. I ain't gonna front, but it made this even better of a diss. Now, Quavo responded with a song called Overholes in B words. That's the route he wanted to go. I do think that he's wrong if he was trying to make it seem like this was minuscule or small in any way. Smashing your friend's girl is pretty nasty, but I digress. Quavo brings up the Rihanna incident like everybody does whenever they argue with Chris Brown, but he brings this incident up with the lines, "You've been blanked your bag up when you mollywopped Rihanna." I had to edit that. He's out of pocket. You know damn well you should not be talking with that elevator footage that's out here. He brings up Chris Brown fighting singer Frank Ocean. That's an incident that happened, I think if I'm not mistaken, a studio parking lot. And I think it was over who was booked or not. And I think Frank Ocean says, "I'm slick," and Chris Brown, he ain't about that ish. I mean that in a way of, he ain't about that. You gonna talk and I'm gonna just walk away ish. He don't play no games, no matter. Now, people are trying to say that, you shouldn't have done that because this person's a part of the alphabet. I bring you a question in return. Are you saying that Frank Ocean is less than the average man because he is a part of the alphabet? Is that what you're insinuating? Shouldn't it be wrong regardless? It shouldn't matter if he was part of the alphabet, right? Maybe you should think about that before you try to, shame Chris Brown for that. That sounds nuts. But Quavo referenced the 2015 robbery of Chris Brown's home, where Chris Brown's aunt was tied up and put in a closet with lines like, "Niggas ran in your house, tied up your aunt, cause you ain't pay," insinuating that it was over money that Chris Brown owed somebody. I don't think Chris Brown was in debt in any way, shape, or form to that degree. Like, I don't think he ever was in debt. I think Chris Brown makes a lot of money, so that just sounds nuts to me. But okay, if you want to, go that route, why not? It's already dirty, right? Quavo warns Chris to leave Takeoff's name out of his mouth with lines like, "Don't ever bring up Take." Man, come on, bro. Come on, son. This is past that point. Like, I don't think that what he said was even disrespectful to Take. It was disrespectful to you, but whatever. Quavo used Takeoff for the hook to make it seem like, he agreed with him. Maybe he would have, especially due to the fact that Chris Brown beats with all of the Migos. But, I don't really care about that. The hook was nice, though. I think it sounded pretty dope. Quavo brings up an argument that Chris Brown had with Tiana Taylor, a singer, right? You might have known her for being the girl that says, "Byron." Yeah, that's her, Tyler Perry girl. I've actually been a fan of her music for a while. She's super underrated. But anyway, I digress. Chris Brown allegedly got into an argument with her and Usher stepped in, where Usher ended up getting a bloody nose. And Quavo brought this up with lines like, "You tried to beat up Tiana, no cap, but Usher wouldn't let you do it." I don't think Usher was successful. That's what went down. Usher allegedly got mollywopped. But apparently Usher ain't about those games, right? He's a tough guy too behind the scenes, is what they saying in the streets. Anyway, Quavo calls out Chris Brown for having bipolar with lines like, "Bipolar disorder, no wonder." All right. I guess that's a line. I'm not offended. I think that everything is up for grabs when it comes to battle rap. I just think that was a little weak sauce. Quavo referenced the movie Stump the Yard, where Chris Brown starred in it, but then he passed away within the first few minutes of the film. And he brought that up with lines like, "We stump in your yard. You know how that ended." Chris Brown actually passed away in the beginning of the movie, but I do understand what you mean. You're talking about how Chris Brown ended. I get it. Overall, I do think that this is an entertaining battle. If there's any more disses between the two, I will update you guys. But I have to give the W to Chris Brown. I think that Weakest Link record was bananas. Quavo's had replay value as well, but I do think that was the, no pun intended, weaker record. But tell me what you think down in the comment section. Hit the like button, share the video as well. Watch my previous videos and let me know what other videos you want to see in the comment section. Don't forget to check me out on my live stream channel as well.